What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd, where we talk all things major movie television news. I'm your host on the channel, Grant Sullivan, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking down Episode 5 of Secret Invasion. We have the episode breakdown. We're going to break it down and talk about some of the points in this episode that I thought are notable of mentioning, and how we know who all else could be a Skrull as well. And give some predictions for Episode 6, the finale as well, and how this sets up the finale next episode too. But first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. So, we open right after Episode 5 takes place, and we see the doctors rushing Talos to the ER. Nick Fury tries to go in with them to the emergency room, but the doctors say that he can't because he doesn't have any clearance to go in there beyond that point. The final thing in this scene is Fury telling the president not to trust Rhodey, and we see him put a chair down to guard the door. We then cut to Gravik and 4 other council members, and they arrive back at the plant. We then see Gravik and the rest of the Skrulls talk about what just happened the previous episode. One man screams at Gravik, and he says that he is starting to wonder why he should trust him, because he obviously hasn't killed Fury or killed the president yet, or have anything that is regarding their new plan as well. So, it's right here when we see Gravik use his Super Skrull powers and kill the man as well. Gravik then orders the people from the council to go kill Fury's wife, because he calls her a traitor because he never killed Gravik. We then see Gravik and Rhodey talking on the phone. Rhodey says that he is on his way to the hospital, but Gravik tells him not to go. When Rhodey gets to the hospital under Gravik's orders, Fury is ready. Fury holds Rhodey at gunpoint and tells him that he knows that he is a Skrull. Rhodey then shoots back and tells Fury that the footage of him killing Hill is going to be leaked online in a few minutes, and he is going to be the most wanted and hated man on the planet. Fury then decides to let Rhodey go, and his men all hold guns toward Fury in front of Rhodey, and Rhodey then gives one more threat to Nick Fury and says if he ever comes within 200 feet of the president again, he'll die. Then we get the opening credits. So, right off the bat, a whole lot going on right here. They're trying to save the president. Obviously, Rhodey needs the president for Gravik's plan. We know Rhodey is a Skrull, so Rhodey is obviously trying to save the president as well. He got to there, but Nick Fury got them first, just to recap right there as well. But let's go ahead and keep going. After the opening credits, we open in London. We then see that an ISS member is looking at the news of Fury killing Hill that has just been leaked online. We then see Sonya ask for the location of the woman that she goes to find later in the episode, and the guy first asks Sonya if she thinks there are Skrulls amongst them. When she asks for the location and the guy doesn't tell her, and when she shoots him, he starts to turn back into a Skrull, getting this reveal on why he asked who the Skrull, or if she believed that Skrulls were among them. We then see one of the Skrulls talk to Gravik after we cut back to another scene, and he tells them that he is confused, and Gravik asks why. We hear Rhodey call Gravik on the phone to make sure that they have the strike to deliver against Russia. Russia obviously being their main point of emphasis right here. They're trying to attack Russia to start World War III. That is pretty much their entire plan. We then see the other Skrulls try to kill Gravik, but obviously that's not going to work. All 4 of the Skrulls who did attack Gravik die, and then Gravik reverts back to his Skrull form, and then threatens the entire Skrull population to not go with him. We see Fury go through a back alleyway and enter a building. Fury then goes, after this we cut to a scene with Fury. He goes through a back alleyway. Obviously this later shows us that he is meeting with Gaia. The conversation between Fury and Gaia is about Talos. Obviously, Talos is dead. Fury tells Gaia that Talos chose the path of struggle and did not lose. Gaia believes that that Talos did lose because obviously he died. Fury also tells Gaia that he knows how he escaped her execution, and Gaia tells Fury about the DNA samples that Gravik took, and one of them is in fact Groot's DNA as well. We then hear the police sirens come after Fury because obviously Rhodey said that he's about to be the most wanted man on the planet and that she needs to bury her father, and Fury tells her where to go. We then hear to go visit his wife, and his wife will know what to do with the body. We then hear before we see Fury leave, Fury asks Gaia if she will be alright, and she responds, "Don't worry about me, I'll put my good face on." And then that's the end of that conversation. We then see Fury escape via a fire hatch, and then we cut to a scene with Sonya, and she is in the lab. When the people get there, they try to hold her at gunpoint, but fail because Sonya, obviously being one step ahead of everybody, is holding the other guy at gunpoint as well. Now, I don't know these names of these people right now, but obviously they are very, very important because of what is about to go down next. Sonya wants to know about the machine they were building for the Skrulls, and Sonya decides to burn all of the plans that they had for the machine, and the man holds the girl at gunpoint. Once they are outside, the man holds the girl at gunpoint and tells them that they will never betray Gravik, and then Sonya is basically like, "I've had enough," and then shoots both of those Skrulls. Obviously, they were Skrulls. They've been working on the plans for Gravik, his machine that we have seen them transform into Super Skrulls as well. Hopefully, this gets revealed in the finale, which I believe is hopefully going to be a lot longer than these episodes here that have been going right now. We then cut to Gaia having the body of her father in a van. She is mourning over the death of her father. She arrives at Fury's house just as he told her, to go see his wife. Obviously, she has to break into Fury's house because the door is locked, and we see her meet Fury's wife, and his wife thinks she's come here to kill her, but she obviously explains that Fury told her to come there to bury her wife. She's basically explaining why Fury sent her to go there. We then cut back to the president, who is officially out of surgery and obviously healing very, very well. We see Rhodey enter the room and ask how the president is doing. He responds and says that he is helpless, and then Rhodey explains how they're going to end the Skrull War and send a missile strike on Russia. The president then tells Rhodey that it will call for World War III, but Rhodey says all of the NATO and England are behind them to stop this Skrull invasion. Obviously, number one point of emphasis right here, we will get that reveal later on down the line of what the actual plan is later in this episode, but right now, Rhodey is a Skrull. We know that Rhodey is a Skrull working for Gravik, so obviously Colonel Rhodes and the president are very, very tight, and that's how we know that the plan is going down. So, we then cut to a scene on the phone with Gravik. Well, Fury is on the phone with Gravik, and Gravik tells him to bring him what he needs for his project. I forgot the Project Harvest, and tells him, and Fury doesn't know what he's talking about, but Gravik says that the president is Gravik explains Fury the plan. Gravik says that the president is going to drop a bomb on New Skrullos, and once that happens, World War III is going to start, and the fight starts there. Gravik is basically here telling Fury what his plan is. He's going to bomb, or he's going to make it seem like the United States dropped the bomb on Russia so that Russia can attack the United States and that the Skrulls can have a new home. We then cut to Fury on his private jet, and we get a cameo from none other than the guy in Black Widow, Rick Mason. We have a cameo from Rick Mason. It's interesting that he cameos here because obviously, number one, it seems like it would be a great fit for him to cameo there. Rick Mason cameos for Black Widow as well. If you guys did not know who that is who that was. Rick Mason from Black Widow, who helped Natasha and got her all of her passports, is now helping Nick Fury. And he gives him a passport so he can get through the other side of where they're going, which obviously we get later to reveal that they're on their way to Russia. He tells them that he should get in that because he seems a little grumpy, and that's pretty much all of this scene. Basically just giving him his ID and stuff so he can sneak in to another country and he can obviously go without being Nick Fury. We then see Gaia and Fury's wife burying Talos and his body, and Gaia explains to Talos what Talos was. Gaia then does the ritual that they do before they die, and we see that Gaia and Fury's wife talk about Fury. They have this great conversation about how they chose this house, what Fury meant to his wife, and we also learn that Fury's wife is about to get executed by Gravik. We know this because obviously Rhodey sent Fury's wife to kill Fury, and that obviously did not happen in the last episode, so therefore it got back to Gravik, and now Gravik is sending people after Fury's wife, and now she is on the run. The Skrulls, or the FBI agents / Skrulls, try to break in and kill Fury's wife, and we see a fight scene, and that's pretty much basically it. That was a quick fight scene. It was a really, really quick fight scene, by the way. We then cut to a scene where Fury is at the airport and uses someone else's identity to get into that country that he is going to. We saw this. We've seen people use this tech in Falcon and Winter Soldier when Sharon Carter used it in the finale to disguise as someone else. We have seen, obviously, other people like Black Widow use this same tech as well, and he has Sonya waiting to pick him up at the airport, and they drive away listening to rap. Obviously, Fury, not a fan of rap, and tells her, this is what we're doing. Obviously, just a little gag right there. We then cut to London, and we see Gaia and Fury's wife look like they're about to break into some place otherwise. And Fury's wife tells her to be careful, and then Fury, Gaia says, yes ma'am, and goes on right there. Alright, so the next scene, very, very important. Real quick, I do want to emphasize that. The next scene is very important, so let's get into it, right? Fury asks Sonya if she gave Rhodey anything, and she says yes, because the people of the SAS are supposed to get it, right? We've seen this obviously play out. Fury, shocked by this news, Fury reveals to Sonya that Rhodey is a Skrull, and she never knew that, and obviously she gave Skrull Rhodey information. We see that we then see Fury tell Sonya how Gravik got the idea from the machine. This is a very, very important part in this episode right here. This is where it gets good. Fury explains to Sonya that during the Battle of Earth in Avengers Endgame, every Avenger had some type of blood dropped during that battle. Even Carol Danvers, right? This is Project Harvest that we have been talking about throughout this series. This is the main point of what they are trying to do. When the dust settles, or when the dust was cleared, they sent a cleaning crew to pick up after everything, and they sent a DNA crew to go pick up DNA from the Avengers as well. Gravik, who was a Skrull at the time, was a part of this crew. Gravik heard about the DNA, and he was a part of this crew collecting the DNA, which is where he got the idea to build his machine and to have all the powers of the Avengers. This is Gravik's main plan. He is trying to replicate the DNA samples that he collected from Avengers Endgame and the Battle of Earth, and he is trying to put all of them into one Skrull sample so they can have all of the powers of the Avengers. That is the main plot of this series. Obviously, it's a great plan. I think that Gravik's almost done with this plan. We know this. Fury explains that this is why he came back to Earth, and that he has to clean up this mess for Gravik started, or this mess that Gravik started after Avengers Endgame. We've seen all of this as well, right? This is the main point of emphasis. I can't emphasize that enough. Gravik collecting DNA, collecting Avengers humans DNA. That is what this show is about. We then see Fury and Sonya go to one of his many graves around the world, and Sonya asks Fury why he didn't just call one of his Avengers friends to help, and Fury explains that this is personal. Fury explaining to Sonya that they never lived the life that he lived, and that they wouldn't know what to do when this came as well, obviously. Fury tells Sonya that they haven't lived the life he has, and shows us the vial that was in his grave. He is getting help from the Wakandans right here. Obviously, Nick Fury with his Wakandan technology, we see this once he goes into the room, which we'll talk about in a second. but he has Wakandan technology in this grave. It splits open, and that's the vial that Gravik needs for Project Harvest. Sonya then confirms that the plan is to give this vial to Gravik so he can stop the entire plan from happening. Fury responds with exactly, and that is where the episode pretty much ends right there. We see him put his eye patch back on. We are getting the badass Nick Fury that we know and love. We're getting Nick Fury back from S.H.I.E.L.D. and in the Marvels as well. We see him put his eye patch on, and he talks to someone on the phone and says, "It's time, let's finish this," and that is where the episode ends. So, right off the bat, this episode basically explaining Gravik's plan to get us to the finale, basically setting everything up in the finale, right? So, the main question at the end I have of this episode is, who was on that phone with Nick Fury? Was it Captain Marvel? Was it Carol Danvers? Somewhere of that line? Was it someone who's going to be in the Marvels? Or is it just going to be Gaia or somebody like that as well? Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this episode down below. Who you think was on that phone as well, and what you're expecting for the finale. We will do a finale preview on Tuesday to get you guys hyped for the finale, and we will talk about the finale in that video. But that is going to be all for today's breakdown of Secret Invasion. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Once again, turn that bell on. We try to post every single day on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.